Welcome to Meet the Trio. On July 1st, Carolyn Douglas took the role of District 57 Director. Ed Cullen took the role of District 57 Program Quality Director, and Sally Philbin took the role of District 57 Club Growth Director. All three are distinguished Toastmasters, and Carolyn, Ed, and Sally are fondly referred to as a 2022-2023 District 57 Trio. Carolyn, Ed, Sally, welcome to our conversation tonight, and thank you for allowing us to get to know you a little bit.
Oh, and thank you for inviting us to be here with you tonight.
I appreciate you being here, and this is a great chance for Toastmasters in District 57 and beyond to learn a little bit more about trios and a little bit more about the great things that happen in Toastmasters. So, Carolyn, I'm going to start with you. What is District 57 Toastmasters, and what does a district mean to the Toastmasters who are happily going to regular club meetings about once a week?
Well, District 57 Toastmasters is just this cute little area within the whole scheme of the Toastmasters universe that's located in the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area. And our area goes all the way up to the Oregon border. So there are quite a few clubs within that span of territory. And what does it mean to Toastmasters who are happily going to club meetings? It means for us now that we have the opportunity to spread our wings online, virtually, or in person, or in a hybrid format to participate in leadership and communication development opportunities. You know, this is what Toastmasters does for us. It allows us to develop our leadership and communication skills in an atmosphere, in an environment where we are being nurtured and we are allowed to grow, and to grow at our pace without pressure, unless, of course, you decide that you want to see what leadership when the heat is on is part of your development plan. But it is an awesome program where anyone can learn to be a leader, to develop their leadership skills further. So that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And as district director, you're the one steering the ship. What is your vision for the year?
My vision for this year is for us to follow as closely as we possibly can with the Toastmasters vision and mission. But I'm also tempering that with the fact that we are in year 3 of the pandemic. And what that has meant for us is that we've lost clubs and we've lost memberships simply because we are a social species and we love to get together to do the work or just to be with one another. We encourage one another. So we are going to focus on our members, focus on redeveloping that membership, reactivating clubs, helping clubs become more supportive. My vision, even before it became part of Toastmasters, was sustainability. If this is something that I believe in, I'm putting my heart and soul into it, and I want it to be sustainable. So I'm looking to see more sustainable clubs, and I'm so happy to have with me Sally, who came through with, I've got a plan, and I'm pretty sure she'll share some of that. But that's our vision, to really continue to cultivate the culture, to cultivate the clubs, to cultivate the membership and our connections to develop leadership and communication skills.
All right, terrific. So since you mentioned Sally, can you tell us what the role of Club Growth Director is and what's your plan?
Well, the role of the Club Growth Director is to focus on 2 areas. Count them 2. It is to ensure club quality. All right. Club quality, excellent clubs, clubs that members want to be a part of. And secondly, it's to grow new clubs, to have new clubs charter during the course of the year. My plan for this is to create jobs for lots of people, to give lots of members the opportunity to participate at the district level. People who maybe have spent their entire Toastmaster life within their club. I'm one of those. I spent my entire first 15 years inside my club. I almost never poked my nose out. So I've created some jobs that are called division liaisons that help rank and file members, as well as people who maybe held a district job last year and now they're not, to keep their hand in it. And that's part of my vision, is to build a team. And I have a great team going on.
Terrific, terrific. And Ed, tell us about being a program quality director and what your vision is.
Thank you very much, Steve. Program quality director used to be called the lieutenant governor of training and education, the LGET. And I'm responsible for training and education, and club quality is in my name. So it's about getting people to club officer training, but it's more than that. It's about every meeting being a fabulous value-adding opportunity for those who come. One of the best ways to get new members is to have good meetings. My vision is, at the end of this year, in August, to be standing on the stage in Nassau in the Bahamas as a distinguished district of some sort. And how do you get to that? Well, and how does that fit in with the program quality director? Well, of course, you get to that by having those numbers on the right side of the dashboard, that is distinguished clubs, be high enough. And having the number in the middle of the dashboard, that is payments, be big enough. And of course, I don't care what's on the left side of the dashboard, because Sally's going to make that number big enough. So together, Carolyn and Sally and I will be carrying a banner onto the stage in the Bahamas in August. Between now and then, we're going to have lots of clubs that train 7 out of their 7 officers. We're going to have people break out of their club environment and go beyond the club, whether it's in the contest or some other way. And we are going to deliver value, quality value, to each and every member of District 57. Back to you, Steve.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So give you a little bit of background about Toastmasters. Ed said Nassau, the Bahamas, and that's where the international convention is next year. Toastmasters is a worldwide organization in roughly 150 countries, and they have an annual convention in August. This year it was in Nashville, Tennessee. Next year will be in the Bahamas. And it's a chance for Toastmasters to meet everybody, members from all over the world, which is a really cool thing to do. As far as the clubs go, and the people that go to a meeting once a week, tell us what it means to them to be a distinguished club, Ed.
Every member deserves to be in a club that's distinguished. And the way you get to be distinguished is you do the educational items. That's 60% of how you get to be a distinguished club. You train your officers, you have new members, and you do the administrative things like sending dues in on time and sending officers lists on time. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. Like so many things in Toastmasters, you can make it complicated, but the truth of the matter is it's very simple.
Mhm.
Get people to meet their educational goals, have good meetings so you get members, train your officers because they want to have good meetings, and do the administrative things. That's how you get to be distinguished. And every member in District 57 deserves to be in a distinguished club.
All right. Well, that's well said. That's well said. So, Carolyn, what are the first quarter goals of District 57? And how are you doing right now? How's the district doing?
Well, some of our first quarter goals are to get our club officers trained first and foremost, from president all the way to our sergeant at arms. We believe when we train our club officers, then they're able to deliver on the promise that is inferred, implied, directly stated on what members can expect when they come to a club meeting. And we have that educational program where we also want to make sure that our members feel free enough to come to the club officer training so they too can start themselves on that pathway of becoming, perhaps maybe shadowing someone so they too can become a club officer. Some of the other things that we're looking forward to is making sure that our clubs prepare a club success plan, very similar to the district. We develop a plan that lists the goals that we want to accomplish during the year. We would like for our clubs to do the same. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We have no intentions of failing, so that is important. We also want to have self-awareness about who we are and what we're doing. Therefore, we've incentivized the moments of truth. Take a meeting and assess the impressions that a guest would have when they come to your club meeting for the first time. And just be honest with yourself in that meeting so that if you can identify that you're doing extremely well, so be it. But if you identify that you feel there is some improvement that you want to do that. That is also just fine. Self-awareness helps us to be better and better. We have an incentive that we're using this year called 5 by 31. What that means is if you complete 5 of the goals that we have for each year, 5, by the end of 2022, you are already a distinguished club. So we're incentivizing our clubs becoming distinguished. And I think Ed probably has some statistics that are, or he's collected some data to let us know how well we're doing with some of the goals that we've already started. Here we are in September. This is our 3rd month, and we are on that pathway of accomplishing our goals.
All right. Terrific. Terrific. Now, before we get to Ed and the statistics, we've talked a lot of business. I'd like to get into your personal views. And I'll start with Sally on this. What is your why? Why did you decide to become club growth director?
It's a simple answer. I was asked. I was asked to run actually in a different year, but close enough so that it caused me to think about myself differently. I never imagined myself as a member of the trio. I never thought that that was something that I would be able to do. And I think what we learn in Toastmasters, So many of us hold back because we don't think we can. For me, I was asked. It turned everything around. It made me think about myself differently, and it gave me the insight to ask others to be on my team, to support me in different ways. It's amazing when you ask somebody personally. It turns their world around too, and they realize, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I thought, well, I've done different aspects of these jobs at different levels within Toastmasters and elsewhere. I can do this. Not only that, I want to do this. There it is. Back to you, Steve.
You said something profound, Sally, and that how it made you feel when somebody asked you to take on a role, take on club growth director, and then how people feel when you invite them to take on a role. And we not only learn to get over a fear of public speaking, but we also learn leadership. And sometimes we're deathly afraid to ask people for help, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right. And then it sounds like you found that sometimes people want to be asked for help, that you're actually bringing joy to them. And we learned that running these big projects. We learned that taking on officer roles. So that's a great message, Sally. I really appreciate you saying that. So Ed, what is your why for program quality director?
Well, 11 and a half years ago, I visited Toastmasters clubs and I liked it, but I had no thought of joining. And it was April of 2011 or late March of 2011. And someone, a treasurer, said, "You visited a number of times. Wouldn't you like to join?" And so I did. Someone asked me and I joined. And on that sheet of paper, there was this thing called a Toastmasters Promise. And it said, when asked, I would take an officer role or whatever. And that whatever came a couple of years ago. I was on the district leadership committee looking for someone to be a club growth director, and I couldn't find anyone. And Beth Bohlhofer said, Steve Bohlhofer thinks you'd be a good club growth director. And I thought about that Toastmasters Promise. It was going to be a commitment that lasts 4 years. And I thought, I said I would be willing to take a role when offered. And so I did. And I certainly am glad. It was a wonderful year last year. This year is shaping up to be fabulous. When you make a commitment and honor that commitment, you really do grow. Mm. And I hope that I'm helping District 57, but of course, these roles are helping me in my own personal growth.
Right. Fantastic. Carolyn, what is your why?
Oh, my why is all over the place because there are so many reasons why I'm here. I have to agree with Sally in terms of just being asked to do a thing is a wonderful entry into the program because sometimes you can have that fear and trembling about doing it. But what I've found with Toastmasters that I've been in association with before I got my Toastmasters firm legs, that I could stand on, they were always there and very supportive, giving some guidance, helping in some kind of way. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes people will tell you, oh, you'll figure it out. But it's been a very supportive way of growing further into leadership. And I have to agree with Ed also. When you are given this wonderful gift, you return that gift in kind. So when someone asks me to help out, I'm always willing to do it. It has nothing to do with I'm a district director now. If you need someone to be the eye counter, I will be the eye counter because you asked me to. So my why is because I've been blessed in this regard. Therefore, I give back and I'll continue to do it. And it costs absolutely nothing.
All right. Well, that's well said. That's well said. So Ed, back to you. Carolyn talked a little bit about analytics and statistics and numbers. In about 30 seconds, can you give us an idea of what our numbers are?
Well, we trained well over 400 club officers,
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
and we have more clubs with 7 of 7 than I could fit on a slide to show. So we trained a lot of people, many of them at TLI, which was fabulous, with a kickoff speaker, Michael Notaro, and a ending speaker, Giovanna, whose last name I can't remember. It was absolutely incredible. There were electives that were just so very good. I'm happy that we have them on video to show to others. But the makeup trainings were shorter and more intense and quite good also. There were people who didn't train until the last possible moment. They went to our sister district 101 and our sister district 4 on the very last day they could train. But we trained a lot of people, and we will do the same in January. Fabulous. People left our training saying that was wonderful, and that's what we'd like to happen. So the numbers are big, and the people who actually came enjoyed themselves.
Great, great. So TLI is Toastmasters Leadership Institute. It's like a half day of just leadership training. And I guess what you're saying, if I'm a fairly new Toastmaster and I'm watching this, if somebody asked me to be a club officer, District 57 Toastmasters are going to make sure you're trained and know how to do it. Would that be correct, Ed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if the training was in person, you would get some food out of it. It would be free, it would be excellent, and there would be food.
Yeah.
While we're virtual, you have to bring your own food.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Ed, I went to Toastmasters Leadership Institute. When there was a break, I went to my refrigerator, and through the whole day, I had all the food and coffee I needed. So it was great. So it was good. Now, Carolyn, you spoke at Toastmasters Leadership Institute, and you said your motto for this year is, "We got this."
Yes.
What does "we got this" mean? And how can we all embrace it?
Once again, we're recognizing that we're in a challenging time in our collective life. So no matter what issues crop up for us, we are going to come together as we've been doing since we became a team here, and we work collaboratively. If Sally needs me to do something, I'm there for her. And if I need Sally, I'm going to ask her. Same with Ed. So no matter what the challenge is before us, we will talk it through and we will come to a solution. We've got it. We're not going to let it falter. We don't believe in failure for failure's sake. If there is anything to need to be failed, it's time for that thing to go and to be changed to something better, because something better wants to come about. So we've got it. We've got this district in our hand. And with the support of other Toastmasters from around this state, as well as this country and this world, we've got this because there's a solution in that one big mind.
All right. Well, that is fantastic. I've got another question for all three of you. I'll start with Ed on this one. Your previous experience with Toastmasters, you said you joined in 2011. How have your previous experiences prepared you to be the best program quality director you can be?
Well, Steve, I took a very easy role shortly after I joined. I became club president. And we were not a distinguished club for a long time. The previous club president was too tired to go to Toastmasters Leadership Institute. He'd been there before, and he never thought we would participate in the Distinguished Club program. We talked about the DCP before, because, we just wouldn't have +4 membership. And so we just would do educational things, but we would never participate. I didn't know enough about Toastmasters to know that I could accept that. So we were distinguished that first year, and you're not supposed to be a president for 2 years in a row, but I was, because they were rule breakers, and we were president distinguished in that subsequent year. Then I became what was called in those days an area governor, an area director. And man, did that ever expand my world. And then a division director. I still have a trophy from that year. I was the division director of the year that year. Then I became the PRM, the public relations manager. All these jobs which you have had, Steve. And that year, you were what I am this year, and I gave you a terrible time. And I moved on to a number of other things. I was, for a very short space of time, I was the district parliamentarian. I was the TLI dean. I was the speechcraft chair. I was a pathways ambassador and guide. All of those small jobs help you and give you a better view and more understanding. Certainly know more people in District 57 to call up and say, can you give me a hand? I was PRM a second time, and then I became club growth. In each and every one of those roles, and some of those roles give you a vote in the deck, and some of them do not. But every single one of those roles where you're helping others helps you.
All right. You said you gave me a rough time. You saved my bacon a couple of times is what you did. So yeah, you saved my life. So Sally, your previous roles in Toastmasters, how have they prepared you for being club growth director?
I think it was a gradual growth for me. My various roles at the club level helped prepare me. Back in the day, it was okay to pick up a failing club charter and revitalize it without having to start over again. And back in 1989, that's exactly what I and a group of us did. That's still my home club, Lakeside Speakeasy. And I learned leadership with that club. The woman that partnered with me to revitalize that club, small thing maybe, when we went to our weekly meetings, we never sat next to each other. We did not want to give the impression that there were any cliques happening. There was no favoritism. Everybody had the opportunity. I will admit, for the first 5 years, she and I owned that club. We ran that club. And at the end of 5 years, we said, you know what? This club's got to fly. We're not doing anybody any favors by taking the important role, and they're all important roles, but the roles that would keep that club alive, we're not doing anybody any favors. And that was a learning experience for me. Somebody else needs to be president. Somebody else needs to be educational vice president. We're not going anywhere. We're there to help. But it worked. It worked. I'm not even an officer in that club now. That club is fabulous.
Mhm.
One year I was a co-conference chair. There was another opportunity for not only leadership, but meeting people around the district, people that I hadn't ever known. And then at some point, I became an area governor where I oversaw a group of clubs. I did that twice. It took me twice to figure it out. The first year, I did the bare minimum. I visited all the clubs once each half year. If I went to 2 DECA meetings that whole year, that would have been a miracle. I sat in front of my computer the day before those club visit reports were due and madly typed them in. And at the end of the year, I said, you know what? I think I missed something. I need to do this again. And I'm sure the district leadership, when I said, can I do this again, went, I don't know. She wasn't so good last year. But they let me. They let me because Toastmasters support you to do better. There's no failure in Toastmasters. There's only the opportunity to do better. And the next year, I did it all. I had a fabulous year as an area governor. And I met so many wonderful people. And I did favors for people, and people did favors for me. And then later on, when I became the open house chair, I traveled all over the district, visiting open houses and helping open houses be successful, and met more people and learned more about the district. All of those things helped prepare me for this role. Last year, I was the club extension chair. That was an example of failing to do better. I learned a lot last year. I didn't start any clubs, but I learned a lot. And thanks to Ed, we started this year with clubs in the track to get started this year. So as I'm going to get credit for starting a few clubs this year, I have to say Ed did that. Ed is the one that set the stage for our success this coming year.
Well, as we pay forward, you'll probably set the stage for the person that comes in next year. So that's a job well done. And we like to leave the district as we move on in strong shape. And Ed's doing that. And I think you're going to do that too. So excellent, excellent. And then Carolyn, I'll ask you the same question. How is your previous Toastmasters experience?
My previous experience starts with as soon as I became a paid member of Cook. I have to tell the story. I was sneaking into the Toastmasters meetings for a while before I paid the membership and became an official member. But once I became an official member, guess who became president? People say, oh, you can do it, anyone can do it, you can do it. But the amazing thing is that once you begin functioning in those club officer roles, you take on some responsibility and you begin to take on ownership for the quality and the kind of meeting that you're having, and that the kind of meeting and experience that you want the guests to have, as well as the members to have. I remember picking up the telephone at work because I was in a corporate club. I would call people and say, Toastmasters meeting, don't forget, you're doing a speech. It really built the connection, not only to what I'm doing, but what I'm selling to people, because I know it's for their good. I've served in every club officer role except for treasurer. Which one did I like best? I like being a sergeant at arms. First one to meet people, set up things, the whole 9 yards of it. It was really good. I enjoyed all of it. I became an area director, and that opened my eyes a bit more because I had limited experience with private clubs. But the opening of my eyes was that sometimes the way the meetings were formatted in the private setting just didn't work for the corporate club. So they formatted things in a way that worked for them, and they were successful in doing the thing. So it's like, take off the blinder that says things have to be one way. And that was quite an enjoyable experience. One club in particular matched their qualities and the things that they were trying to accomplish right along with the goals of their company. And it was all working out well. I became a division director. I fell into that. I think it was one of those things like, all right, you're serving on a committee and they need this particular role filled. And I was not putting my hand up for it. Somehow or another, it happened regardless. And I truly enjoyed that. And I began to see how people bring their creativity to each position that they're holding. Things don't have to be one way. People want to be successful. And when you give people the opportunity to be successful using our projects, as well as the things that they know they're able to do, they are successful. So that's why I enjoyed being a division director. I did not become the club growth director. I got moved to the program quality director. I had actually done some events because of the work that I was doing for employment. And it included doing events for big trade shows. So I had to kind of take a step back and start breathing like, I don't have a big team of people to do these various parts. I can do it myself. So that too was a learning experience, but it was really wonderful to develop the education that we were doing as well as the events that was going to be designed to meet the needs and get satisfaction. We actually used last year an online conference platform who did their own evaluation at the end of it, and they received 100% satisfaction from the people that they chose to take the poll. So it's like, whoa, it worked.
It was fun.
It worked. So here I am, all of those things, all of the roles that I have participated in and done has informed my ability, so to speak, to be in this position of district director. So when I lay down and I start thinking about how am I going to get this done, the first thing I remember is to breathe, because all along the way, there were Toastmasters there that I could touch, that I could call, I could talk to support me or give me a word of comfort or advice to move along the way. One of the things that I have to say is that when a Toastmaster comes up to you and say, I'm proud that you're in this role, I want you to know that I've got your back. I want you to know that if there's anything you need, call me. That is money in the bank.
All right.
Everything has informed the ability to be in this role. So if I can do it, anyone else can. And that's the word I want to tell all of those who will hear this. If you're interested in leadership, if you're interested in developing your communication skills, Toastmasters is the place to do it in an environment that is supportive of who you are and how you can get it done. Back to you, Steve.
Fantastic. Well, Carolyn, Ed, Sally, I appreciate all chatting with me tonight and chatting with Toastmasters all over. I'm going to let Carolyn have the last word. And Carolyn, I would like to ask you, let's say I'm a club member and I'm watching this and I go to my Toastmasters meeting once a week, and the three of you have really intrigued me, and I would like to participate in District 57 activities. What kind of opportunities are available? And who do I call?
Oh my goodness, we have 100 plus clubs that are open for business, and we're online. We have a wonderful website where you can go and look for clubs in the area where you're interested. Contact them. They will let you know the time that they're having the club meeting, because what we have done is made sure that you can attend a club at your time of convenience, because we really want you to participate. Go and visit. Go a couple of times, maybe 3 times. Find out how many times they will allow you to come. But I can guarantee you someone there that you will meet will invite you to join the club. And they will share with you the finances that go along with it. They're very low cost. You're talking about a program that leads to a master's degree if you compare it to a higher school of education, a master's degree program, and it's very low cost. Your investment would be in yourself, and you will have experts in many different levels, many different fields that will be able to support you. So find a club you want to attend, enjoy the meeting, join, do the Pathways Education projects, and learn to fly, because you will be getting the skills to do it. It's awesome. And you'll develop a passion for it the way I have.
All right. Well, that sounds good. And if I'm already a member and I'm excited tonight and I want to work with Carolyn, Ed, and Sally, what kind of opportunities do you have? What kind of roles can people fill in the district?
Just give me a call, because we have lots of things that we want to do. We're getting ready to have our fall business meeting. We have our town hall meeting. We have opportunities where people can participate. And thank you for asking this question, because what we recognize is that sometimes members are not able to commit to a long-term project, but they have the bandwidth to do a short-term thing. We're open, willing to receive that level of involvement too. So it does not matter. Just give us a call and we will put you to work.
All right. Sounds good. And once you get put to work, there's a lot of growth opportunities. You'll come
There
out stronger.
is. What I didn't share that I need to share is that there are many companies that are so impressed with the quality that comes out of their employees when they find out they've been participating in Toastmasters. We have written, verbal, video testimony of people sharing how they received advancement in their workplace, advancement in their careers. Toastmasters is a 100% win.
All right. Well, fantastic. I appreciate you all being on the conversation tonight. Carolyn, Ed, and Sally, I wish you much success, because as you have success this year, the entire membership of District 57 Toastmasters benefits, and we want the whole district to thrive. So thanks a lot for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Welcome to Meet the Trio. On July 1st, Carolyn Douglas took the role of District 57 Toastmaster. Ed Cullen took the role of Program Quality Director, and Sally Philbin took the role as District 57 Club Growth Director.
Can I stop you?
Oh, sure.
You said the wrong title for Carolyn.
What did I say?
You called her a District 57 Toastmaster.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've got it written in front of me, too. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. And
Sorry,
We can do the count.
I can do editing on this. So, thank you.
I won't interrupt again. I apologize.
If I say something wrong, please interrupt. I'm just glad that's at the beginning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Meet the Trio. On July 1st, Carolyn Douglas took the role of District 57 Director. Carolyn, now I'm watching again. I gotta take a breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Meet the Trio. On July 1st, Carolyn Douglas took the role of District 57 Director. Ed Cullen took the role of District 57 Program Quality Director, and Sally Philbin took the role of District 57 Club Growth Director.